fall, forget winter, forget summer, forget spring. This is my favorite season right here.
Absolutely. There are so many storylines, including the influence.
We're the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And an inspired rendition of our national anthem. Really getting warmed up here, just moments away. We'll be back right after this.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Tonight, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Boston Celtics. Well, for Boston, in preseason, we saw them fine-tune their chemistry and timing, but you never really know how far you've come until the regular season begins. Should be an exciting challenge as they look for their first win of the year. And you love the build-up to a new season, lots of anticipation. Shaq, what are you looking for?
There were some VIMs this offseason.
Very interesting moves.
Oh, you like that? Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. And you got to understand, that kind of shift, that right there can shift the balance of power.
Wow. And last year, the Eastern and Western Conference was balanced out. Well, we'll see if the trend reverses this year.
And that'll take it right up to tip as we go courtside.
Well, we can finally say it. The NBA regular season is about to get underway. Hey, Dave.
Well, guys, Kemba Walker is a multiple-time All-Star. But from his first seasons in the league, stardom was not assured. Even he said, "I never saw myself playing at this level. There were times I didn't know if I even belonged in the NBA. I guess you could say I'm surprised." Now, Kevin, every player has those doubts at the beginning, but few overcome them the way Kemba has.
David, he's come a long way. Thank you. And a look now at the Boston Celtics' upcoming schedule. On Friday, they'll take on Marc Gasol and the Toronto Raptors. Then on Saturday, they'll tip off a road trip in New York where they'll take on the Knicks. And now the opening lineup for Boston. Walker and Smart, the guards. Jason Tatum is out there with Williams. And it's Cantor in at center. And for the 76ers. The tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid.
And the free agency fate of Kyrie Irving hung over the Celtics last season. Now that he's gone, how do they weather his departure?
Well, yeah, great question. I think that the uncertainty was a drain on all of them. I mean, Kyrie's obviously an elite talent. I still think they have what it takes, though, to get it done.
Simmons against Williams. And Simmons kicks to Harris. And it's off from three-point range. And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for Boston. Puts up a three. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
When his three-point shooting improved a few years ago, Walker's career, that's when his game went to a whole new level.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Smart.
Great instincts from him to get a hand on that pass and tip it out.
Now, just trying to prevent the opposition from getting comfortable. Next time, that one might get picked.
Here's Simmons. Hangs, and Embiid lays it in.
Oh, you better know where Embiid is. I mean, when you lose sight of him, he'll kill you on the boards.
Simmons against Walker. From downtown. And it's Joel Embiid with the rebound. The 76ers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And you look at Joel Embiid, maybe the best two-way big man, Chris, in the NBA today. If there's anything he needs to work on, what would that be?
Well, I still think that there's room for growth as far as his playmaking. I mean, Kevin, he's going to command double teams on a nightly basis. So it's all about taking advantage of the defense for sending that extra man.
Outside Tatum. 5 on the clock. And slam dunk by Tatum.
Though he may not explode off the floor, Tatum's length makes plays like this look easy.
Stolen by Walker. And pushing it up, here's Boston. And the layup's good off the glass. Walker's got 5.
I mean, he's finding some good shots early on. And what you like about it, he's not trying to do too much.
Simmons dishes to Harris. And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. Takes the 13-footer. They get it back. Here's Embiid. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
Sometimes this is all you can do on defense. Embiid is so aggressive and determined near the bucket.
Walker the pass to Tatum. Nice ball movement by Boston. And slam dunk by Tatum.
Oh, I dunk you very much.
he can really fly, and you combine that, Greg, with some nice penetration, too, and you've got 2 points. Here's Simmons, stolen by Walker. Smart deciding where to go with it. Puts it up. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
The setup's good. That's the shot they're looking for, but you can't get them all to go.
To the inside. Here's Embiid, and the dunk by Embiid.
And all that Embiid needs really is positioning inside. I mean, once he has it, you know he's dunking.
Now Walker. And that one released in time, but no good. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Celtics. Al Horford was born in the Dominican Republic, and he talked about why he gravitated towards basketball instead of baseball.
Coming from a place where, baseball is what's driven to us every time. I mean,
wanted to follow in his father's footsteps.
And what a career. College championships at Florida, an all-star in the NBA. I think he made the right choice.
And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
Setting the pace early, G.A. I like this aggressive mind state. I love this approach so far.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the court for the Celtics, Walker and Brown, they're manning the backcourt. Tatum and Hayward make up the 2 forward spots. And it's Tice in at the 5 down low. Hayward finds Walker. 5 to shoot. Tice passes to Hayward. There's Walker with the 3. It's hauled in by Harris.
Not sure why he keeps trying his luck from deep here. It's just not his night.
Well, after his incredible 60-point game last year, every team should be scared of Mr. Kemba Walker. Now, we all know he can take over the game and put on an absolute show when his shot is falling. Open court basketball at his best. The D slow to catch up, and the assist leads him right to the bucket.
Here's Simmons. Lays it up and banks it in. Simmons got the lead, back up to 1 now for the 76ers.
Terrific at penetrating inside. The mobility Simmons possesses at his size, amazing.
Passes it to Walker. Sweet little floater. Walker's got 7. And Chris, with Walker, you saw it in that 60-point game he played. He can get to wherever he wants to on the floor.
Yeah, very slippery on offense and underrated as an elite ball handler. I mean, you have to love how crafty Walker is when he gets some space in the mid-range as well.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, Josh Richardson has made himself into one of the top defensive wings in the league. Richardson says there's a certain competitiveness that comes with being a good defender. The defensive end takes will, and I have a lot of it. Kevin J. Rich is self-described as super competitive, and that edge is what drives him.
It sure is. That's what it takes. Thank you, David. Al Horford, he's checked in for the 76ers. Zaire Smith comes in for Richardson. Williams, he's checked in for Boston. And for Jaylen Brown, part of the challenge last season, especially with the return of Gordon Hayward, was meeting the high expectations, Greg, in a reduced role.
Competition for minutes, and then early on, he struggled. We all see the potential, but it's really about seizing the moment every time you're on the court.
Back to Walker. On the wing, Brown. Covered by Smith. Brown, good. Brown's got his second bucket of the night.
Just focusing on the task at hand, that's all you can do.
Oh, you know what it is, Greg. One play at a time. That's got to be the mindset, especially in such a tight game.
Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
There have been a lot of lead changes. My goodness.
From deep three-point range, and the last shot before the buzzer is off.
Wonderful instincts on the defensive end. I like how Simmons stays after his man. He's not letting him get comfortable.
And a close game so far through the first two quarters as we reach halftime. 76ers on top, leading by just one. And a chance now to... Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway. For the 76ers, the first quarter was pretty even. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. They had a slight edge on the scoreboard in the second quarter, but only... That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. We've seen Simmons really having a great game.
He's done a fantastic job of finding open space to operate within the first few quarters.
Yeah, the offense looks crisp, and guys are hitting their shots.
And for the Sixers, the health of their draft picks has been a story. Zaire Smith, Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, all missing significant time with injury.
Health continues to be a key for them, GA. And Embiid in particular, he's missed some games last year, missed some back-to-backs. He's 7'2". You just hope his knees could withstand the grind. They got to keep him going to reach their goal.
The tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. That's the group in the game for the 76ers. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two.
Such a force of nature inside. I love how hard Embiid goes to pick up these fouls. I'm not really sure I've ever seen a center who could play bully ball in the paint, then step out and hit the three, then give you the handles in the mix like Joel Embiid. I mean, him and Boogie Cousins are really the only two that come to mind.
The free throw drops for Embiid. And even though Embiid has that deep range, he prefers to throw his weight around inside.
And he should, Kevin. And at times, a lack of spacing has forced him to step outside. I mean, he's as gifted as you can get on that block. I mean, you got to get him the ball down there with space to work.
Hey, Chris, this year Pioneer Chuck Cooper inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Long overdue, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, he was the first African-American player ever to be drafted. I mean, let's just think about that. Jackie Robinson of basketball. He paved the way, and what he endured, and his teammates, by the way, of all colors, is well documented. And I think the Celtics need to, and I think they will retire his number 11 and have it hang up in that famed Raptors of theirs over there.
I agree. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, if you were going to lose Kyrie Irving, why not replace him with Kemba Walker? The Celtics brought Walker in from Charlotte last offseason, and it looks like he's going to pay off big time in Boston. The Celtics didn't exactly do what they wanted the last couple of years, but with Walker and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and a hopefully healthy Gordon Hayward, Celtics aren't exactly going to be in the lottery anytime soon either.
Well, you're right on that, D.A. They're still stocked, and we love Walker. He'll, I think, mix well with this team. Thank you.
Well, throughout Harris's career, he has worked on building up his body, putting that added strength to good use on these tough finishes.
And the Celtics rebounding well this summer. From the loss of Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, Kemba Walker possibly a better fit for this team.
And with their young core, understandable that they didn't want to extend Horford out to age 37. A revamped roster, but I think they remain a contender in the East.
Embiid kicks to Harris. Drains the three-pointer. Harris has got 5 points so far.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Walker dishes to Tatum. Pass to Canner. Now here's Walker. Over Simmons. Walker's shot is off.
I don't know if it's been the main factor, but his off night has definitely been one factor here.
Just rubbing it in their faces with that dunk.
He is never going to take his foot off the pedal.
What a performer this guy is. He relishes the chance to hammer it down.
From outside the arc, good on the three-point shot. He's got 10.
Oh, yeah, Kevin. I mean, such a clever player in the pick and rolls. I mean, Walker's fantastic at making things happen.
And so it's Philadelphia. With their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Now let's listen into the huddle of Brad Stevens.
Talked about it in the pregame. We have to play with game awareness and poise. Run back on defense, get great shots down here.
3/10 quarters behind us. One more to go. Thanks for being with us as we begin the fourth. Philadelphia leading by 6. On the floor for Boston. Brown and Hayward, they're the wings. Then it's Marcus Smart. Then it's Williams. And it's Poirier in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Harris against Brown. Harris's shot is off.
He hasn't chipped in with many points tonight. Good thing he has the guys around him to carry the weight.
Smart finds Williams. Smith against Brown. To the paint, Poirier. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Oh, what incredible precision. Brown cutting the D to pieces with his pass.
Philadelphia with the ball. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Pass to Simmons. And wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball. And Philadelphia has possession. O'Quinn the pass to Harris. Smith kicks to Simmons. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Gets the 14-footer to fall. And the 76ers lead by 6.
Oh, the brilliance of Simmons. Outstanding at getting fancy with the ball and taking risks from time to time.
Smart on the wing. Off target with his 3.
Oh, man. Bad shots. This is the time to work the ball inside to get the best shot possible. That's the way to make the comeback happen.
Simmons inside. Guarded by Smart. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. And the 76ers call time here. They're ahead by 6. We've got 1:18 left to play in the final quarter. And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Ben Simmons.
And his percentage from the field tonight seems almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
Catching up on the changes for Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, he's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Horford comes in for Mike Scott. And it's Richardson in for Smith. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Brett Brown said to his team. His demeanor was not one of a coach whose team was well ahead. He said this is the time to turn up the heat, make one final push, and try to close out strong. We'll see if they were listening, guys.
Thanks, David. Here's Walker. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. That one on Richardson.
Oh, Walker, very crafty earning these shooting fouls.
He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really wanted. He's got one more, though. Boston making a switch here. Tatum's checked in. No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also.
Not a guy you want to foul. Walker's a tremendous free throw shooter. He does a great job of getting himself to the line.
Simmons finds Horford. Richardson with it. Back to Horford. Ball's knocked loose. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Now a timeout called by Boston. They're down by 6. 23 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
There's still a sliver of hope.
Yeah, right now it's technically a 2-possession game, but that means you'll have to hit 2 threes without your opponent scoring again.
Here's Smart. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
I like Smart using his size advantage on the interior. Nice work out there.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss. So he comes up empty, missing both.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Marcus Smart might be the most physically imposing point guard in the league, especially with his fiery approach to the game.
Now the 76ers with it. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. And the second of 2 is good. That makes it a 7-point lead.
Well, it's clear Simmons is a unique player. He's 6'10", a guard, can pass the ball, move the ball, great vision. It's a no-brainer that he's been compared to Magic Johnson and LeBron.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're trailing by 7. 16 seconds left in the game. $16 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Three-pointer. Langford misses. Smith dishes to Burke. So the 76ers win it. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this group a lot of credit for that stick-to-itiveness